What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. So, we already know how machines and AI are already taking over millions of jobs. We see this right now. You go into Walmart, and we're seeing where you go and you check out yourself. You use computers, you have to check out yourself. You go to McDonald's, and you're seeing this now where, again, you have to type on an iPad or a computer, and you're no longer having a person ring you out. You're starting to see this at grocery stores. You're starting to see this more and more. You're starting to see this even more so along assembly lines. More and more jobs are being replaced by robots, by computers. And we just had a hearing in the Senate and the senator says it's his biggest nightmare what is happening, this machine learning, this AI intelligence. And I'm going to show it to you here in a moment. The CEO of OpenAI and ChatGPT was just interviewed by Congress, by the Senate. And what he has to say made the senator say that this is his biggest nightmare. What could happen to millions of jobs in the United States? This is pretty eye-opening. It's first of all, what's already happening to millions of jobs here being replaced, and what could happen here going forward. So let me know your thoughts on this. Take a listen to what they have to say here, and well, you can let me know.
I alluded in my opening remarks to the jobs issue, the economic effects on employment. I think you have said, in fact, and I'm going to quote, development of superhuman machine intelligence is probably the greatest threat to the continued existence of humanity, end quote. You may have had in mind the effect on jobs, which is really my biggest nightmare in the long term. Let me ask you what your biggest nightmare is and whether you share that concern.
Like with all technological revolutions, I expect there to be significant impact on jobs, but exactly what that impact looks like is very difficult to predict. If we went back to the other side of a previous technological revolution, talking about the jobs that exist on the other side, you can go back and read books of this. It's what people said at the time. It's difficult. I believe that there will be far greater jobs on the other side of this, and that the jobs of today will get better. I think it's important. First of all, I think it's important to understand and think about GPT-4 as a tool, not a creature, which is easy to get confused, and it's a tool that people have a great deal of control over and how they use it. And second, GPT-4 and other systems like it, are good at doing tasks, not jobs. And so you see already people that are using GPT-4 to do their job much more efficiently by helping them with tasks. Now, GPT-4 will, I think, entirely automate away some jobs, and it will create new ones that we believe will be much better. This happens, again, my understanding of the history of technology is one long technological revolution, not a bunch of different ones put together. But this has been continually happening. As our quality of life raises and as machines and tools that we create can help us live better lives, the bar raises for what we do, and our human ability and what we spend our time going after goes after more ambitious, more satisfying projects. So there will be an impact on jobs. We try to be very clear about that, and I think it will require partnership between the industry and government, but mostly action by government to figure out how we want to mitigate that. But I'm very optimistic about how great the jobs of the future will be.
Thank you. Let me ask Ms. Montgomery and Professor Marcus for your reactions to those questions as well. Ms. Montgomery?
On the jobs point, yeah, it's a hugely important question. And it's one that we've been talking about for a really long time at IBM. We do believe that AI, and we've said it for a long time, is going to change every job. New jobs will be created. Many more jobs will be transformed, and some jobs will transition away. I'm a personal example of a job that didn't exist when I joined IBM, and I have a team of AI governance professionals who are in new roles that we created, as early as 3 years ago. I mean, they're new and they're growing. So I think the most important thing that we could be doing and can and should be doing now is to prepare the workforce of today and the workforce of tomorrow for partnering with AI technologies and using them. And we've been very involved for years now in doing that, in focusing on skills-based hiring, in educating for the skills of the future. Our Skills Build platform has 7 million learners and over 1,000 courses worldwide focused on skills, and we've pledged to train 30 million individuals by 2030 in the skills that are needed for society today.
Thank you. Professor Marcus?
May I go back to the first question as well?
Absolutely.
On the subject of nutrition labels, I think we absolutely need to do that. I think that there's some technical challenges and that building proper nutrition labels goes hand in hand with transparency. The biggest scientific challenge in understanding these models is how they generalize. What do they memorize and what new things do they do? The more that there's in the data set, for example, the thing that you want to test accuracy on, the less you can get a proper read on that. So it's important, first of all, that scientists be part of that process, and second, that we have much greater transparency about what actually goes into these systems. If we don't know what's in them, then we don't know exactly how well they're doing when we give something new, and we don't know how good a benchmark that will be for something that's entirely novel. So I could go into that more, but I want to flag that. Second is on jobs. Past performance history is not a guarantee of the future. It has always been the case in the past that we have had more jobs, that new jobs, new professions come in as new technologies come in. I think this one's going to be different, and the real question is over what time scale. Is it going to be 10 years? Is it going to be 100 years? And I don't think anybody knows the answer to that question. I think in the long run, so-called artificial general intelligence really will replace a large fraction of human jobs. We're not that close to artificial general intelligence. Despite all of the media hype and so forth, I would say that what we have right now is just a small sampling of the AI that we will build. In 20 years, people will laugh at this, as I think it was Senator Hawley made the but maybe Senator Durbin made the example about this. It was Senator Durbin made the example about cell phones. When we look back at the AI of today, 20 years ago, we'll be like, wow, that stuff was really unreliable. It couldn't really do planning, which is an important technical aspect. Its reasoning abilities were limited. But when we get to AGI, artificial general intelligence, maybe let's say it's 50 years, that really is going to have, I think, profound effects on labor. And there's just no way around that. And last, I don't know if I'm allowed to do this, but I will note that Sam's worst fear, I do not think is employment, and he never told us what his worst fear actually is, and I think it's germane to find out.
Thank you. I'm going to ask Mr. Altman if he cares to respond.
Yeah. Look, we have tried to be very clear about the magnitude of the risks here. I think jobs and employment and what we're all going to do with our time really matters. I agree that when we get to very powerful systems, the landscape will change. I think I'm just more optimistic that we are incredibly creative and we find new things to do with better tools, and that will keep happening. My worst fears are that we, the field, the technology, the industry, cause significant harm to the world. I think that could happen in a lot of different ways. It's why we started the company. It's a big part of why I'm here today and why we've been here in the past and we've been able to spend some time with you. I think if this technology goes wrong, it can go quite wrong, and we want to be vocal about that. We want to work with the government to prevent that from happening, but we try to be very clear-eyed about what the downside case is and the work that we have to do to mitigate that.
So the founder of this so-called superhuman technology, OpenAI and ChatGPT, says he's very concerned about it because if it goes wrong, it could go very wrong. And this is kind of what some people have predicted, especially if you've seen some of these movies where AI, artificial intelligence, robots come into their own. I know it's for some people it seems a little out there, but for some people it doesn't, where robots really kind of take over in their own way. Computers get too smart. What are your thoughts on this? Can computers get too smart in some ways? And then really, if you don't even go that route, if you just think about the route of computers and AI taking over jobs, That has already happened. Automation has already taken over millions of jobs just in the US alone, let alone across the world. And we're seeing this happen more and more and more. I was stunned when I went to McDonald's a month or so ago and started to see computer screens to order at for the first time. At least in my local area, it was kind of new. And they said, "Oh yeah, we're going to start doing that more and more and more. During the rush hours, you can go and order there when there's long lines." And then I started to see the writing on the wall that says, "Oh yeah, that's the future here. Less people working and taking orders, more computer screens where you go and touch your order in. They don't have to have as many people working, paying people. I mean, you buy a computer screen once, and you don't have to pay people every single hour. It only makes sense. You see this at Walmart, you literally go and they have a whole row of touchscreen orders, or scan your own grocery items at grocery stores. Literally just scan it yourself, scan it yourself, scan it yourself, put your credit card in and check out. Boom, you're done. And we see this in production lines, car assembly lines. We see this all across the United States and around the world. Let me know your thoughts here in the comments. How concerned about this are you? Or is this the wave of the future? Because if we think about without automation, we would be in trouble in a lot of ways. If we had to produce every single thing by hand, well, we'd go back 100 years in technology. So in some ways it's good, and in some ways it's not so good. Let me know your thoughts here in the comments. Where would we be without computers? It's a fine line. Yeah. Imagine cell phones from 20 years ago versus what we have in the power of our hands today. We actually have computers more powerful in our hands today than what the space shuttle used decades ago. Yeah, the cell phone in our hands today is more powerful than the space shuttle used decades ago. I know, it's unbelievable. So I'll keep you up to date here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe, click the bell icon so you don't miss out on any new videos that come out here on our YouTube channel every day. It's completely free to do so. Thanks for liking and sharing these videos. Here's some videos you should watch next. The IRS just sent out a warning for millions of Americans in this video, and impeachment was just filed for multiple people in this video. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.